Hi everyone, I'm Rose. Welcome to my channel. So today we are making the Crosby Bias Dress. I almost forgot the name for a sec. So the Crosby Bias Dress is by the Pattern line, and I've been eyeing this pattern for quite some time now. I have this like really beautiful purple silky fabric that I'm going to be working with, and I'm also going to use contrast strapping. And I'm going to change the shoulders to be tied, so it's a little bit more feminine. It's just something I always like to do. Um, I've never really worked with the band roll, so I'm excited to try this out. And also, you won't be seeing this, the finished look on me because it's not for me, it's not my size. But I will be sharing it, some close-up details, and it also won't fit on this guy. I tried, it is more this size than it is for me, so I'm pregnant right now and my belly is growing. And it's not fitting on here either, so unfortunately, we'll just have to do with some really good close-ups. Um, yeah, so I'm really excited, and let's start sewing. For the first step in the sewing project, we're going to be making French seams. So what that means is we're just going to pin the right side of the front and back bodice together, or the front and back dress. We're then going to, so I'm trying to also making sure, because this is on bias, you want to make sure you're not stretching anything, but you're being really delicate with the fabric, because any little tweak or adjustment can really affect the lining of the front and back bodice. So as you can see here, my hems are not aligned, but we're going to fix this later. I've also already went in and added, they are asking for, I think it was like 3/8 inch interfacing that, or face interfacing, yes, that will go on the front neckline. So I've already added that in. This is just to help stabilize the neckline so that it doesn't overstretch with wear. I'm not 100% sure if I love this part of it, but just because I feel like it's holding the delicate fabric a little bit too much, and you can kind of see like a little ripple on the neckline. So I think with the next sample that I do make, I'm going to just instead add some stay stitching on the neckline and the back bodice, just to also add this like stability without having this like 1/4 of an inch fusible facing to my garment. Or I will put the facing, but instead of on the actual dress itself, I will add it to the actual like lining portion of this, because it will be the same effect and you won't see this like kind of like ripple on the outer fabric. And you can see this a little bit more in the finished make at the end of the clip, but I'll make sure to point it out for you. After you finish sewing the wrong sides of the fabric together for the French seam, we just go in and trim down the seam allowance to about 1/8 of an inch, smaller if you can do that as well. And then what you're going to end up doing, so the first side I didn't do this, but I did it for the second side, and I highly suggest that you press the seam with your iron. Just a little tip for you, because I feel like one side came out a lot nicer than the other. This is always something that I recommend for French seaming, and I'm going to be sure to do this on my other sample. The next step here is going to be to flip so that the right sides are now facing, and you're just going to cover this raw edge now. So with a with your right sides together, you're just going to fold them together and then sew about like 3/8 inch all the way down. And that is your French seam. So you repeat this also then for that like little lining portion of the bodice. I decided to add some contrast straps for this project, and I found this at the shop that I work in. The purple perfectly matches back to the main body fabric, so I had to pair these two together. I always really love the straps that are adjustable, like you can tie them. So this is what I'm doing for this project. I'm making them as fine as possible, and I am just kind of like folding it over. I actually didn't use the pattern, and this is not on the bias. This is actually on the straight grain. I think this offers like a little bit more stability here. And this is just what I prefer. Obviously, this is not what the pattern is asking for, but I think this turned out really nice. After this is sewn, I just trim down the seam allowance as much as I can, and I use the safety pin just to flip everything so the right sides are out. Next step here that I'm working on is aligning the bodice and the lining portion so that they can be sewn together. So I'm matching all of the important pieces first, like the center front, the side seams, and all the notches as well. And then what I'm going to be doing is taking this off to my machine and sewing. So this was putting the right sides together. So the right sides are together. We're gonna sew, trim down the seam allowance, clip at the center front, and if you need to, trim down the seam allowance a little bit more. And then I also added the under stitching as per like the pattern. I mean, under stitching is always really beautiful, and this is such a simple garment but with such elevated techniques, and I'm really enjoying the sewing process in this. You know, it's 4 pattern pieces, relatively simple, but just really elevated in design and technique. So I'm really loving this. So this is the finished product so far without the hems, and you can kind of see the little puckering on the neckline, which I was talking about earlier. After this is done draping and dropping, I'm gonna clip the hem, and we're gonna start sewing the hem with a band roll. I just evened out the hem just a little bit. I need to do just a bit more. I let this hang for a few days, and then we're ready to move on to band roll, which I'm really excited about. I think this is going to be a really clean finish. Let's go. So band roll is something that I just learned about this year. It's perfect for projects like this. I think this is actually the intended use of the band roll, is to create these really beautiful baby hems on your garment. When you get your band roll, it's like a woven textured strip of this kind of trim, and what you're going to have to do is you're going to remove a few of the layers or a few of the rows of your like threading here. This is going to help to make your hem. So if you want like an 1/8 of an inch baby hem, which is what I was going for, I removed about like an 1/8 of an inch or slightly more of the thread so that I can align it to the hem. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this around the full hem of your garment, pin overlapping about 2 inches, is that's what the pattern line is also recommending. So I listened, and then you're going to put the band roll on the right side of your garment, and you're going to pin that with that 2 inches overlap, and you're going to begin to sew at 1/8 of an inch. Then you're going to flip this to the inside of the garment. This is going to give you that baby hem. And then you're going to sew right at the edge of the top at that 1/8 of an inch one more time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to begin to remove the band roll after. So you're left with this like beautiful hem, this beautiful baby hem that literally took minutes, as opposed to like much longer with the other process of the baby hem. So I'm gonna leave my link here below for where I purchased it. I had a hard time kind of finding it here in the Netherlands, but maybe if you're in the States, it's a little bit easier to acquire. And I hope you buy this for the project because it makes a world of a difference. I did this to the bottom hem as well as the hemming for that little inner tank. So my review for also just using band roll, I'm so excited I was able to find this. I actually think Gracie Steele had linked it in her bio because I live in the Netherlands and I go to the markets often, the fabric markets, but I never saw band roll, and I always just saw so many people do like such easy baby hems. And I'm a bit of a sewing perfectionist. So this really helped me. I want to say really freaking helped me. Because all you have to do is, after this is sewn, see if you can get like a little bit of a close up. Is that working? Yeah. And after those 2 steps are done, you kind of just like pull it out. So if you can see, because I pulled the last few rows of this out, it pretty much just tears out. And you're left with this like really beautiful, perfect baby hem. I love the sewing community. I feel like so happy all of a sudden for this because like honestly, when you're just like home sewing by yourself, and I went to school for fashion, however, like they don't teach you all these like small little tips and tricks, and I have just so many more sewing friends now that I'm adult, and working more with the community, and I'm just learning so many new things. So it's so exciting, and I just want to be here to also teach you. And if you have ever have any suggestions for me, like things that you notice I'm doing and things could be easier or whatnot, please just let me know, because I am all for trying something better. Also, one of my friends also taught me this like new method of finishing a waistband where it's like clean finished in a different way, and I'm just so blown away. Like if I never met her, or if I never followed Gracie or took this pattern, like I would never know these amazing tips and tricks that have just made me not even like necessarily a better sewer, but just more efficient, and um, using my time better, because this was so fast and If you can get your hands on banderole, I suggest you do this also for yourself. Make your life easier. I'm going to link where I found mine. So I live in the Netherlands, and I'm going to leave my link for the shop that I found mine at. And I hope you're able to also find this easily in your country.
Like I said, this doesn't fit me or my dress form at the moment. However, I just wanted to share a few little clips. The hem is looking beautiful, and I'm so happy with this make. I can't wait to make another one. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.